ended up winning by 7 votes, which I find to be a very interesting number. I tie it back to my Christian beliefs in the Bible, and 7 is the number of completion or perfection. And so I feel like it's a God thing. When I first talked to my husband about, do I really want to get involved in this? And we prayed about it. A day or two later, he said to me, I think you need to run. I just want to remind people that local elections are super tight, and it's really important to get out and vote. And like Dr. Ben Carson said, know for whom you're voting, because you could be voting against yourself. I think people need to know who they're electing onto the county commission, because it has a big impact on how their money, their dollars are being spent. And the county commission has the unique job of setting the property tax rate. And so it's a big deal. I'm going to continue to pray for discernment, because not everyone who claims to be on your side is necessarily there to help you. I was reminded of that recently. So I just have to pray daily about discernment. I'm always surprised when conservatives talk about, well, with all this growth, we have to raise property taxes. We can't get away without raising property taxes. It always surprises me, because with the more growth you have, then the more property tax dollars you have coming in. So really, that's an incorrect statement. So without trying to tell them that they're wrong, I try to explain that to them. I don't think my focus has shifted, but in terms of block walking and explaining to voters that there are 2 Democrats running in District 11, and there are 2 Republican nominees from the primary. And so it's important to keep Williamson County rooted in traditional conservative values. It's important that we get out and vote, that the Democrats are working hard and spending a lot of money to get a seat on the county commission, and we need to stop that from happening. The first and foremost is to listen to whatever their concerns are. I think it's really important that community leaders, not just community leaders, but all leaders from the city level all the way up to the federal government, need to listen to the people and hear their concerns. I think that listening to people and hearing their concerns and keeping an open line of communication when they'll allow it is the best way to keep in touch with them. My first priority will be to get in there, meet with the department heads, meet with the new mayor, make sure I understand what the issues are, what his priorities will be, understand from the department heads what their issues are. I will ask everyone I meet with that works for the county, where do you see waste? Where do you see potential savings? What are we as a commission not seeing that you see? And that's not just from the heads, that could be any employee. And often the people lower down see more than the department heads see. First and foremost, we have to consider infrastructure. What we currently have, what we have upcoming that needs to be done with the existing development that we have, and then what would be required now and in the future for any new development. In terms of high density development, I have no problem with it if it's in the appropriate places. For instance, close to work centers that have a high volume of workers, because it would make sense there. And I also want to make sure that Williamson County preserves our rural landscape. That is why so many people love it here. And if we start to take that away, it's going to ruin the appeal of our county. I'd rather have the problem of having more people wanting to come here than we can have than losing that appeal. Relationships make the world go round. When it comes to the school board and the county commission, we only really have authority to approve the overall budget. We don't get involved in the nitty-gritty of it, because that is their job. I'm very careful to stay in my lane and do what the county commission does. But that leads me into, it's also really important for the county commission to have positive relationships with the BOMA and the council members of all the cities within the county. those are relationships that I will be reaching out and meeting for coffee or lunch or whatnot, and cultivating those relationships so that I can just pick up the phone and call them and discuss issues that come up. We have to keep God and traditional values intertwined in political decisions, plain and simple, and keep the woke culture out of politics. It's a slippery slope. That's number one. Number two, I would say we can never ever forget that the government has no money. The government spends the people's money. And that to me is like, other than God, is the next most important thing to remember in any governing body. And then it's really important to me to limit regulation. I mean, in essence, it's limiting government and making sure that we're consistently asking ourselves, if new regulations or new rules come before us, asking ourselves, is this overstepping what government should be doing? So those are my three things that I would say I saw happen in California that are problematic. The Democrats are fighting to get one of the seats either in District 11 and or District 10. It's really important that we vote to keep our traditional values strong here in Williamson County, because the way Williamson County goes, the way the rest of Tennessee goes. And I moved here because I believed that this was the best place to raise our son, with Christian traditional values at the forefront. It could easily change. And when that changes, I've seen what happens. And I watched it over my lifetime in California. And I don't want to see that happen here.